DevOps. Today we are going to be talking about configuration management, and with configuration management we are going to be studying the tool Ansible. There are so many tools that are used for configuration management, but we are going to base on Ansible. So our tool is Ansible. Okay. Generally, when you hear of Ansible, you already start thinking about configuration management. Okay. If anybody asks you what is Ansible, if anybody asks you guys what is Ansible, your response to that person is that Ansible is a configuration management tool. That is your response. Ansible is a configuration management tool. Okay, so in this our session of today, we are going to be looking at what is configuration management. What is the meaning of configuration management? We're going to be looking at the advantages of configuration management, which there are two of them. We have provisioning of servers and Idempotent. And then we are going to actually create servers and perform configuration management on those servers. One great advantage of Ansible is that it is agentless. Ansible is agentless. Okay, so we are going to be looking at how is Ansible agentless. We are going to be looking at Idempotent. We are going to look at how it provisions servers. Okay, we are going to do that all by creating our infrastructure and performing every hands-on. All right, let us go through some notes that I prepared for you. Okay, so this is our program for today. What is configuration management actually? These are your notes. So configuration management is a process of configuring remote servers from one point of control. I'll explain this very well, please. It is the process of controlling remote servers from one point of control. So what do we mean by configuring servers? We are going to find out how exactly we configure servers, okay? And we provision the servers. All right, I think it's better we start doing some of the active work, so that as we are going along, you are going to be discovering. So let's just talk about Idempotent. So Ansible is having a characteristic which is called Idempotent. So we say configuration management tools are used to bring the server to a particular state called as desired state. If a server already in the desired state, configuration management tools will not configure that server again, which means that what if you already have a server in the desired state, then that server is not going to be configured again. So come to the drawing board. Let's look at something. We just imagine that just imagine a situation where you have 1, you have 2, you have 3 servers. Okay, and then they ask you that, okay, in all these 3 servers, please update the repositories of these servers. That's the first work that is given to you. What are you going to do? You're going to SSH into this server, update its repository, SSH into this server, update its repository, SSH into this other one, and update its own repository. That can be fairly done with 3 servers, as we see. Right? It will be done very well with 3 servers. Now, what if you had 300 servers? What if there were 300 servers and they asked you to update the repositories of all these 300 servers? Are you going to enter one after the other updating their repositories, one after the other updating their repositories? it is going to be a task that will be too much for you to take, doing one after the other. All right, so that is why Ansible has come in. With Ansible, what you're going to do is you are going to create another server that is called the controller server. Okay, this server like this, it is the server that you are going to do the update of all these repositories. Okay, you are going to perform the update of the repositories from this one server, and that information will be sent to all the 100 or 300 servers that you have. You get it? So once you do the update here, all these servers are going to capture it. So that is configuration. That is what we call configuration. That is, the server is not updated. That means it is not in the desired state. Now, what is the desired state? The desired state is that the server should be updated. That means the apt repositories should be updated. Okay, and that is what we want to do. So Ansible is going to take the servers from the non-desired state to the desired state. That is what we call configuration. Okay, you have configured the server to the state which you want. All right, configuration also goes not only updating. You can decide that, okay, all these servers are going to be servers, web servers. All right, and for them to be web servers, they should have Java, they should have maybe Tomcat installed in all of them. Okay, that means you are going to take the servers from the state where Tomcat is not installed and then pass the servers to the state where Tomcat is installed in all of them. Okay, so installing Tomcat in all of them is what we also call configuration management. Now look at Idempotent. Idempotent will come in place when, for example, if you have this server is updated, this server like this, it is already updated, and then Tomcat is installed. This one is updated but Tomcat is not installed. This one Java is installed but Tomcat is not installed and is not updated. So what will happen? Ansible, you then here, this is what you do. You ask Ansible to update the server, install Tomcat, and install Java. These are the three commands you have. This one has just two commands. This one have one. The first one. This one have 1 and 2. Then this one have just 1. Then this one have the third one. All right. Now, what do you want Ansible to do? You want Ansible to make all these servers to have all these three configuration. That means install. The first configuration is update, right? Update. This one is update the servers. Okay, now when we want to update these servers, okay, the first one is updating the servers. The second one is installing Java. Install Java. And the last one is install Tomcat. Install Tomcat. All right, now here it is already updated. This server is already updated, and Java is already installed. Here it is already updated, and here Tomcat is installed. Tomcat is installed. All right, but what you want is all the three servers should have these three things. Okay, so what is Idempotent? Idempotent now will now come into place by saying that once you execute whatever thing you are executing in the Ansible controller here, updates will no more be performed in this server. That is what we call Idempotent. Ansible realizes that the server is already having update. It will no more update. Java will no more be installed. because Ansible discovers that Java is already there, and then Tomcat now will be installed. So the only thing that will happen here is Tomcat will be installed. Here the same thing, update will not occur, Java is going to be installed, and then Tomcat is going to be installed. All right, here update will occur, Java will be installed, Tomcat will not be installed. Okay, so the desired state here is that Tomcat should be installed. That is the desired state. The desired state here is that Java should be installed and Tomcat should be installed, and the desired state is that the server should be updated and Java should be installed. So Ansible is going to do all this for you. So don't just look at it as 3 servers. Imagine there were 100 servers or 200 servers. Your work will be very easy if you are doing it from one central point of view. Okay, so that is idempotent. That is idempotent. Now there is this one aspect of Ansible that I added here, which is very important, and it is peculiar to Ansible. Now there are different configuration management tools in the market. Okay, there is Chef, there is Puppet. Okay, there is Chef and Puppet, which are also configuration management tools. But out of all these configuration management tools, Ansible is regarded as the best, especially because of this aspect of it being agentless. What is the meaning of Ansible being agentless? Okay, Ansible is agentless because you only install Ansible in the controller machine. You only install Ansible in the controller machine. You don't install anything here. You don't install anything here. You don't install anything here. Okay, the only place where you install Ansible is on your controller. That's why they call it agentless. For the other tools, you will have to install the main tool in the controller, and then you come and install some sort of an agent in the nodes. Okay, where that agent is going to perform the work that the main tool is demanding it to do. But for Ansible, there is no agent that is installed in the nodes. Okay, everything takes place at the level of the controller. That is the aspect of agentless. They will always ask you, what is the advantage of Ansible over other configuration management tool? So you should understand that Ansible is agentless. Okay, so let us get into our system and then start building our system and see how Ansible functions. So what are we going to do? We are going to create 4 servers. We are going to create 4 servers, and then for the agentless characteristics of Ansible to function properly, we are going to do what we call passwordless connection. Okay, the connection between this server and this server, that's the connection between the controller and the node, is going to pass through what we call passwordless connection. You are going to see how we perform passwordless connection. This is what we are talking about. You're going to see what we say passwordless connection. Passwordless connection occurs through SSH. So we are going to establish an SSH connection between the 2 servers. So they will ask you, somebody might ask you, what form of connectivity does Ansible use to communicate with its nodes or with its controllers, or whatever he may term it? You say that Ansible uses passwordless connection because it is agentless. So it uses passwordless connection through SSH. SSH is secure shell connection. All right, so Ansible is passwordless connection to its controllers or its nodes. Let's get to our main system. This is our AWS system. So let us launch 4 servers. All this you already know how to do. Okay, I launched 4 servers. I'm going to name the first server controller, right? Then the second server I'm going to name node 1. Then the second one I'm going to name node 2. Then the third one I'm going to name node 3. Okay, these are our servers. Okay, so the first thing I want us to do is let us also name these servers from inside. Now take a look at something. Let us get into this server. Let us connect to this server. If we connect to this server, I'm using Git Bash. Now look at something here. What you have is the IP of the server here. Okay, now when you are already working with so many servers, you might get confused which server you are actually logged in, especially when you have to always come and look at the IP of the server here. All right. So it is very important to change the name from this IP and write a name that you really much know. So we have a command that you can help you change this from this IP to a particular name. So we are going to change all our servers to a particular name which we can recognize. Okay, so let us move to super user, and then here is a command which you need to change. Here's my Ansible script. We want to change it to controller. So look at the command. Let me try to make it bigger for you. So this is a command. The command is hostname ctl, set hostname, then you give the host name that you want to pass. I'm passing the name controller. Okay, so let us copy the command and then we paste. Now when you do this, it actually takes effect, but you cannot actually see it demonstrating until you reboot the machine. And the easiest way to reboot from here is just to run init 6. When you run init 6, it disconnects and it will boot. If you run right now, it is still booting. It will not connect. So you have to give it some time for it to reboot, and then it connects. So while it is rebooting, you see it has given us a connection timeout because the server is still rebooting. Okay, so you have to give it some time for it to reboot. So while it is rebooting, let us connect to the other servers and also change their own names. Okay, we connect to node 1 and change its own name to node 1. Run sudo su. Now the command is host name ctl host. Take a look at the command. Set host name, and then you give the host name. Okay, and this one should be node 1. Let us make sure that we are taking node 1 with 7330. Node 1 7330. Yep, we are actually taking node 1. Okay, so we run it, and it goes, and then we run init 6, and it disengages. Now let us come back to that our first instance now, and we try to log in. You see now that it will log in without any problem, and the name now has changed to controller. So we are now certain that we are in the controller machine. Okay, so it's the same thing that will happen to node 1 and node 2. Okay, so we go to node 2 and do the same. So it is a process that when you do it over and over, it makes you stronger and master the concept. So here we set host name ctl set host name. Then we'll give you this one node 2, right? Authentication for that is required, so we pass to we are not in the super user, so we have to move to super user, and then we run now host name ctl set host name node 2. Go, then we run init 6 and we reboot. Then we go to our last one, which is the third instance. We log in. we pass to super user, and then we run host name ctl set host name. This one is node 3, and then we run init 6. Good. Let's come back and log into the other ones. This one should show us now node 2. Clearly we have node 2 there. Then this one should show us node 1. Clearly we have node 1 there. Then this one should show us node 3. Still rebooting. Let us be patient for it to reboot successfully. Good. And then we have node 3. So we have all our servers. We have we have the controller, then we have node 1, we have node 2, we have node 3. Now with this way, your work will be so clean and so organized. You will know which node you are working with at what particular moment when you are inside that particular node. But in real practice, you will never be logging into all these nodes. Okay, you will always be working from your controller node. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is we are going to create this passwordless connection that we talked about here. That's the very first principle, very first practice that we are going to do. Create passwordless connection. Okay, this is the passwordless connection we are talking about. This one, that's what we want to do right now. We want to create SSH connection from this server to this one to this one, and this one to this one. That is the very first thing we must do. And how do we create SSH connection? The way to create SSH connection is, one, you generate private keys. You generate a public key, not private one, please. You generate a public key in your controller, and then you copy that public key to your private to your node 1. But before you do that, you have to first of all create a user in node 1. So let's come to node 1 first, and then we create a user. First thing first, create a user in node 1. How do you create a user in node 1? There is a command for you to create a user in node 1. Here's a command for you to create a user in node 1. The command is sudo password, and then you give the name of the user. So here we are going to be creating a user called Ubuntu. Okay, let's just create. You can change this Ubuntu to your name. Okay, just make sure that you recognize the user. So for now, let us just create a user called Ubuntu. So we are going to set a password for that user called Ubuntu. So sudo, take a keen look at the way the password is written. It is not written in full. Pass and then wg. Okay, as a password. Then you give the name Ubuntu here. All right, when you run, it will ask you for give your password. I'll just put 1 2 3. Okay, 1 2 3. I enter. I repeat, 1 2 3. I enter. So password was successfully updated. All right, that means I've created a user here. Let's do the same thing for node 2. We still create a user called Ubuntu, and we give the same password, 1 2 3. Enter. 1 2 3. Enter. When you are writing the password, it doesn't show. We come back to the third one. We create again another user. Give the user Ubuntu, password 1 2 3. Enter. Password 1 2 3. Enter. All right, we have successfully created a user in all our machines. Now the next thing is we generate public keys here. How do you generate a public key? Right, how do you generate a public key? Here is the command. All these are your notes that I'm going to give to you. How do you generate a public key? The command to generate a public key is here. You run this command ssh keygen, ssh/keygen. You are going to generate your public key. So you run the command ssh keygen. So they are going to ask you, just click enter, allow the main names here, and just click enter, and the key is already generated. When you see all this one like this, then the key is already generated. You will be told that the key is found somewhere in .ssh. This is the directory of where the key is found. Okay, it's a public key. The name of the key is id_rsa.pub. It is a public key. So when you generate this public key, you are going to send the public key to all your servers. That means here we have generated a public key in this machine. So we are going to copy the public key and send here, copy the public key from here and send here, copy the public key from here and send here. Okay, that's what we are going to do. So when the public key of this machine is already found inside this machine, then this machine now you can SSH from this machine to this one. Okay, so in order for you to have a passwordless connection from one machine to the other, generate a public key in one machine and then copy that public key and send it to the other machine. When you send it to the other machine, then now you can connect to that machine through SSH. So we have generated our public key here. So how do we send it to this machine? We have a command that we are going to run for that public key to be sent to this machine. What is that command? Here is the command that we are going to run. Now we are going to run the command ssh-copy id. All right, and then in the place of this IP address, we are going to put our IP address of the machine where we want to copy the key. So here we want to copy the key to machine node 1. So we are copying the private IP, not the public. The private, we can still use the public, but since all of them are in AWS, let us take the private IP of our machines. We take the private IP of our machines. Okay, look at the command. We have ssh-copy id ubuntu, and then you send it to where are you sending? You are sending it to this IP. So you are copying that private key, that public key that you generated, and then you are sending it to this IP, and this IP means to that other server which we created. Okay, so I run it here. I copy the IP from this machine to that server. All right, so let me run it here. They ask, do you want to do that? Yes. Permission denied. Okay, the permission has been denied for me to copy the public key from here to here. So what could be the problem? Let me go to super user and see sudo su that, and then I run it again. They say ssh copy id ubuntu error, no identities found. Okay, let us see. Let us try to debug this together. We run let us first of all verify our IP address if it is okay with us. Our IP address is okay. Okay, we created our SSH key not as a super user, so let us see if we can create it as a super user. Okay, so we run again keygen. Okay, remember the command that we ran here, ssh-keygen, ssh-keygen. We generate the public key. Now let us run now the copying of the public key. Yes, Okay, our permission denied. Attempting to log in with new keys. Let us verify why our permission is being denied to copy the keys. Okay, now there is an error that I made and we have to correct that error. You see, when you are working, you should always make sure that you do not skip places. Okay, right now the permission is being denied because we have not yet set passwordless connection to accept from our node 1. So in order to set passwordless connection to be accepted from our node 1, we have to do a configuration in a particular file. Okay, we have to do configuration in a particular file. And which file is that? Let us look for the file. The file is found in what we call the config file. We are going to search for that file from sudo. We are going to open a file which is found at etc ssh._ config file. Let us go and open this file and change a configuration. You'll see the configuration that we are going to change in that file. Okay, I am being removed. Sudo su. Okay, now all right, when you open this file, you come right down to passwordless connection or password authentication. You see right now it is saying no, so you change this one to yes. Okay, don't forget to do this, please. You change it to yes and then you save and you quit. If you don't do that, it is going to give you permission denied, like it has just given to us a permission denied. Okay, we save and we quit. And then when you do this, you must restart. You must have to restart. Okay, this is the command to restart your SSH. If you don't restart your SSH, it will not take. Okay, so you have to restart your SSH. We are in node 1. We restart. Okay, now when we do this now, we hope that when we are going to run now our copy command, our key is going to be copied without any problem. Okay, let us run now our copy command. We are running the command in node 1. Okay, now it has copied successfully and they are asking us to give the password which we set for that machine. I set the password 123. Okay, we have successfully entered copy the key to the other server. Now to know that you have copied the key to the other server, you can at least just log into the server. If you want to log in, I can log in now to that my node 1 from my controller. How can I do that? How can I log into my node 1 from my controller? Okay, take a look at this, please. In order to log in, you just need to run the command ssh and then you give the name of your server and then you pass the IP of that server. SSH, name of your server, IP of that server, and you log in directly to that server. Okay, so from my controller, take a look at what you are seeing here. Controller, I want to log into my node 1. All right, I run. So when you highlight, it copies directly. Okay, all right, from my controller I want to log into my node 1. I'm just testing to make sure that I can actually do login right now. So look at what you are seeing here. You are seeing now but node 1. We were in controller, but you are seeing node 1 right now. So we have SSH into node 1. So let's exit back from node 1. That means our passwordless connection is now operating. We have exited from node 1. We are now in our controller. Okay, you do this for all the servers that you have. Okay, so let us do it for node 2. This is node 2. Remember the command which the command that we need to configure its config file. Here's the command. I'll give you all these commands. Node 2. You come down, you look for passwordless connection. Here it is. Change node to yes, and then you save and quit, and then you restart. Always restart. If you don't restart, it will not capture. Always restart. Now that it has restarted, let us copy now the keys from the controller to node 2. So what is the IP for node 2? Let's look at the IP for node 2. This is the private IP for node 2. We replace it here. And then now we copy the keys from controller to node 2. We are in controller, so we are copying the keys to node 2. So our password was 123. We are in node 2. Let's try to see if we actually got into node 2 by actually SSHing into node 2. You know, technology will bring its own language. We call this SSHing. That means you SSH into node 2. That means SSH is now a verb. We SSH into node 2. SSH means going into node 2. So this is our node 2, right? We are there. So let's exit. It is working. We are still in the controller. We do that for our last node, which is node 3. Let us copy its IP address. And then we run the command. So we copy all these. You can copy the two commands and run at the same time. We are going to run one after the other. So we have our permission denied. Okay, we have not yet changed in our node 3. Remember, we need to first of all change its config file. Don't forget to change its config file. Node 3, don't forget to change its config file, please. Come down. accept changes here. Save and quit, and then you restart. Now when you restart, you come back to your controller and then you run the file. Now ask for your password, you give it, and then you are finally in. To test that you are finally in, you copy this and you paste. You see now that you are in node 3. Perfect. So we have done the most difficult work right now. So we have created a passwordless connection between all our instances, all our servers. Now the next thing that we need to do now is we have to install Ansible in our controller. So in order to install Ansible, we have three commands, or I think there are 3 or 4 of them that we need to run. These are the commands that we need to run in order to install Ansible. We are going to update the repository. Then we are going to run these 4 commands. There are 4 of them to install Ansible. So let's just create an Ansible script to install all these, and then we go ahead rather than running each one after the other. Let's just create a script, ansible.sh, and then we copy all the commands that we need to run. And we put in our script. It's a shell script that we have just created. Now we can execute our shell script. Now Ansible is being installed in our controller. Ansible is being installed in our controller. Press enter. So when Ansible is going to install and complete, what we're going to do now is, how are we going to know which particular, how is a controller going to actually know that it is actually talking with its various nodes? We still have another configuration that we are going to do at the level of the controller to make sure now that the controller is communicating with all the various nodes that it has. Because creating passwordless connection does not mean that, it means that you can now move freely from the controller to the nodes actually, right? Creating passwordless connection does not mean that the node already knows that it should be sending information to the controller already knows that it should be sending information to the node. No, it just simply means that it is now capable for the controller to move to the node without any barrier now. But in order to actually perform service duties, something has to be done. Configuration has to be done at the level of the controller. What type of configuration? There is a file in Ansible that we are going to configure. The file is found in this location, cd/, you are going to cd into etcd into Ansible, and then you are going to see a file called host file. Okay, you are going to see a file called host file. So let's cd into this location. It is only after you install Ansible that you are going to have this location. We are in the controller, right? So let us cd into it. C. If you run ls, you see as many things as possible, but all you need here is Ansible. Here is the Ansible folder or directory, as you may know. Here is it here, Ansible. So we are going to also cd into Ansible. Then here ls, you are going to see now this is the host file. This is the Ansible configuration file. So inside this host file, let us open the host file with the vi editor, vhosts. This file is called the inventory file. They will always ask you in interview questions which file actually controls the nodes that Ansible controls. It is called the inventory file, right? This file is called the inventory file. So in this inventory file, what we are going to do is you open the inventory file with your vi editor, and then I just want you to come here, copy your nodes, the IPs of your nodes, this IP, copy it, come back to your inventory file, paste it, just create a space and paste it there, right? Go back again, copy the other node, this node 1, this node 2, copy the other private IP here, come back to this node, paste it there, and copy the third IP for node 3, come back here and paste it there. That's all you need to do, and then you save and you quit. All right, we have finished all the configuration that we need to do at the level of the master. Now we can now start learning Ansible. We have finished all configuration management in Ansible. Okay, now there is a command known as ls-la. When you run this command, what do you see? You see the various files and their permissions. Okay, now these files that you are seeing, we have run ls-la in the controller. So these files all belongs to the controller. Okay, now if I use the word Ansible now, it is going to show me these files for all the nodes. Okay, that's the power of Ansible. Now let us see how the command is. Let us see the particular command for Ansible. Now the command says that let me take the command from here and put it here, please. Look at the command. You are going to run Ansible all. That means you want to see all the servers that are there. Ansible all, you are running for all the servers. -u, remember that we created a user called Ubuntu, right? Ansible all -u, that is saying that for the user Ubuntu that we created, and then -a means you are passing an argument. Okay, you are passing an argument. So you run Ansible all -u, Ubuntu is the user that we created, then -a means what you are passing is an argument. This is the argument. This is what you want to see. Okay, so let us run this and see. We run. So when I just put Ansible and then now I run our command, you see what happens now. Instead of just showing us one, like the first one that we ran, it showed us just for our controller machine. Now it is showing us for both all the machines. Okay, this one now is, this is what is happening. These are the various files that are in node 1, these are the various files that are in node 2, and these are the various files that are in node 3. So it shows for all the various nodes. So that is the power of Ansible now. So from here now, from this central machine, you can control all the other computers, all the other servers. Okay, you are going to control all the other servers. You can do, we can just let me just say, okay, let us just install something. Let us install Docker in all the other servers. All right, let's just install Docker, and then we end here. In our next session, we are going to start seeing the various modules, what are modules in Ansible and all the like. Let me just give you the command. There are 2 commands to install Docker. The first one, we are going to download Docker. These are the 2 commands to install Docker. So this is the first command to install Docker. You might not understand the command right now, but let me just explain to you how the command functions. Okay, look at this command. The command says Ansible all -u in Ubuntu -m. This one now is -m and not -a. -m means -module, right? We are now passing a module. And what type of module are we passing? We are passing a shell module. Okay, we are passing a shell module. And what is the argument of that shell module? This is the argument. It is actually the curl command, where you have to download a Docker shell file. All right, when you run it, this file is, you see, it has changed something in all the 3 machines. You see, change. Okay, it has changed something in all the 3 machines. Now after it has changed, it has just simply downloaded the sh file, right, the shell file. So now we need to execute that shell file, right? So we need to run the second command in order to execute that shell file. So this is the second command that we are going to run to execute the shell file. So the command says Ansible all -in Ubuntu, the module shell, and the argument is execute get docker.sh, because that is the file that was downloaded in this URL. Okay, so let us execute it here. So we expect that there is an execution running in the background, and when that execution will finish, we are going to see something installed. Okay, so it might take some time because it is going to execute in all the 3 different servers. Okay, so you get patient a bit here, and you wait for the execution to terminate. So instead of going to install in each server by server, you are doing your configuration directly from one end, and that configuration is occurring from the controller. Okay, so right now we believe that Ansible should have installed everything. Okay, we believe that Ansible should have installed everything. So let us just check. For checking sake, let us run docker -- version. You can see Docker is installed in our machine, right? Docker is installed in our node 1. You go to node 2 and we check. We run docker -- version. You see that Docker is installed in our node 2. Check for node 3. We run docker -- version. You discover that Docker is also installed in our node 3. So we have successfully installed Docker in node 1, node 2, node 3. Now mark the color that occurred here. Okay, look at the color that occurred here. I'm going to run the command again. I'm running the same command again, the same command that I'm going to run. So look at this color here. So the command is running in the background. I want to tell you about the various colors in Ansible so that you should always know. So our command has run now very successfully, okay, without any problem. All right, now we are still having a yellow color because Ansible reinstalled the installation program for the installation package for Docker actually did reinstalled and updated. So let us, because the packages for Docker were never updated, so let us update now the packages for all these computers, for all these servers. Please let us update the packages. What is the command to update packages? This is the command to update packages. Command to update package. Ansible all -m apt update catch equal yes. You will know this command when we start doing various modules. Okay, now I want to update all the packages in all the servers. So you look at change true, facts true. That means packages have been updated, yellow color. Let me run the command again. Packages have been successfully updated. That means there is no issue with anything. All right, so that is the power of Ansible for you. Okay, now to show you a change in something, let me delete this -b and run. Take care of what will happen and the color that will come out. Take care of what will happen and the color that will come out if actually it does execute. Let's be patient. Now that -b that you see at the end gives this command higher privileges. That -b is like saying sudo, giving the command sudo privileges. Okay, now without the -b, you see what has happened. So when you ever run your commands and you see this color, means your command failed. Okay, see, red color means the command failed, yellow color means the command succeeded. Okay, red color is command failed, yellow color is command succeeded. Okay, so that is the way we are going to, when you are working, you are going to be able to diagnose whether your command actually did run or it did not run. It's not that when you run a command you go again to the various servers and start testing whether they actually executed. No, once you run your command and you see a yellow color, you understand that your command has run successfully. Okay, so we are going to end the class here for today. And in our next session, we are going to start talking about modules and the various ways modules are being used. And then we are going to introduce ourselves to Playbook. What we have been doing today, we have just been running simple commands and executing configuration management. But in a real industry life, you will hardly be executing commands using simple commands. You will hardly be executing configuration management using simple command. You are going to use what we call playbooks. Okay, we are going to use playbooks. And what are playbooks? We are going to see how playbooks can be written and how you are going to use playbooks. So there are two ways in which configuration management is done in Ansible. One is by running Ansible commands, which we call ad hoc commands, and then the other one is by running Ansible playbooks. Okay, and the most used one is writing and running Ansible playbooks. All right, so we are going to discover how Ansible playbooks are written, and what we have just done now is ad hoc commands. Okay, if they ask you what are ad hoc commands, so ad hoc commands are just simple commands that are executed once in Ansible and they are not reusable. But playbooks are going to be reusable. When you launch do a particular playbook, you can take that playbook again and reuse it next time that you want. Okay, you can keep it and reuse it next time that you want. All right, guys, thank you for those who are able to reach here. I hope you practice and keep practicing, because practice makes perfect. Okay, thank you. Catch you guys next session. Bye bye.